What's going on, everyone? My name is Loxy, and this is my very first YouTube video. Now, on this channel, I'm just going to be doing story times and commentaries with, a little bit of gaming in the background. Now, these story times are just going to be about pretty much anything with, my friends, or just me alone, or just any mildly crazy stuff that I, have done or encountered, etc., etc. Now, today my story, very first story, is about the time that I had a knife in the school. Switchblade to be exact. But, and I actually live in California, and switchblades are illegal in California. Switchblades over 2 inches long, and if this was a switchblade, which it wasn't, it would have been probably about 6 feet. Now, full disclaimer, it was a comb. Now, this story goes back to an airport no, it wasn't an airport, it was an arcade in Nevada, because my aunt and my uncle live in Nevada, and I like to go up there, chill out with them. They have a pretty cool house. They have an Xbox that's newer than mine at home, so I like to go up there, live lavish, spend every waking moment on my Xbox in my room. Anyway, so I was at this arcade, and there was it was a pretty big arcade, and it was kind of like a restaurant too, and you could get prizes and things like that. And one of the prizes was, you play games and then you get tickets, and these tickets are all virtual, like on a card. So you swipe it, you play the game, and you get tickets. Now, this prize was only 500 tickets, and I'm like, oh, that looks cool. So what it was like a switchblade, but instead of an actual switchblade with a knife at the end, because it wouldn't sell that in an arcade, it was a comb. So I'm like, oh, that looks cool. So, I redeemed it for 500 tickets, and I got my switchblade comb, and I was combing my hair thinking I was really slick, but I probably looked like an idiot. So after that, I took it on the plane, went back to California, my home state, where my school was, and then I took it to school one day. Now, this was at the very first, couple of weeks of my 7th grade year. Now, my 7th grade self, I just moved to a new school, and I wasn't all that popular, and I wanted to, make some friends, get popular, and I, 7th grade me thought it would be edgy or cool to have a switchblade, switchblade comb in school. So, there's already kids there that, are already super established and popular and stuff, and have got their friend groups and stuff, but me, not so much. I didn't really go there with anyone, and I just didn't go there with anyone because I'm an only child, so I just had to make new friends. So I took out my switchblade comb, and I didn't actually, pull out the comb part, and this day we had the substitute, so the sub just put on a documentary the whole time, so they weren't really paying attention. Now, I pulled it out, and I didn't actually, click the button to, have the comb pop up, but, it was there. And then I'm like, hey, in case I'm, walking in any shitty part of town, I got and I didn't know what a strap meant at the time, so I'm just saying, I got my strap on me. Strap means a gun, but, it was a knife comb, so not really a strap. And then, there was a girl and a boy over there, and they were just looking at me, and the girl was really looking at me really weird, big eyes, oh my god, am I about to die? And the guy was just kind of huh, okay, weird flex, but okay. And later that day, 2 periods later, I got called into the office. Now, when I got called into the office, I was kind of scared, but not really, because, this is my first time in the office, in the school, and I'm what am I here? Why am I here? What am I doing here? And then I get called into the principal's office, and I didn't know anyone in the office at the time, but there was the vice principal, the main principal, and then one of the security guards at the school. They had security guards at the school. It's really weird, but, I've never really seen them have a purpose. They're just kind of lingering around. I don't really see them all that much. They just kind of hang out in the office, in the principal's office. And the vice principal, who really does all the work, the principal just kind of hides, just in the office, just says he's the principal, and he's like, so, I've gotten word, or the vice principal is saying this, I've gotten word that you have a weapon on campus. And then I'm like, oh, okay, great. This is really great. And then I pull it out of my pocket, because I had it in my pocket all day, because I was showing it off to literally everyone. And then even the security guard kind of backed up, and they all backed up. They're like, whoa, in their chairs. They're like, they didn't say anything, but they're like, whoa, bro, you really got a knife on campus? And I'm like, obviously I didn't, but this is what they thought. Now, after that, I said, it's not a knife. And then I clicked it open, and it was a comb. And they're like, oh, And then, blah, blah, blah. They gave me the lecture on, how people thought they're in danger and all this stuff. And, it was an all-around weird experience. It was like my first, week and a half, 2 weeks at that school. And I was a little scared to see if I was, in trouble for whatever reason. But, they just let me off with a little bit of it wasn't even really a warning. It was just like, don't do that next time, And, so the reason I told you about that is because, the reason I told you about the girl is because I think that's who told on me, because no one else really had that, whoa, I'm gonna die reaction, So, yeah. And then later that day, I didn't actually tell either my parents, about that. I've never really told anyone about that, because, I don't know, it's not really something that comes up in an everyday conversation. Thank you for watching, everyone. My name is Loxy, and I'll see you in the next one.